Now you got Florida number two. I don't think I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. But I really wanted to ask you in the SEC East, tied for third here, Kentucky and Missouri. How close are those two programs in your model? Because I'm seeing both those fan bases. They're riding high from last season. They're thinking, this is going to be an opportunity to maybe even jump Florida in the East. So how close do you have it between Kentucky and Missouri based on your model?
Well, I'll tell you what, man, they're about as close as you can possibly get. In fact, if Kentucky and Missouri were to play at a neutral site, the model would take Missouri by less than a point,
Wow.
by point 0.9 points. So they're essentially the exact same team, is what the model is saying. And the projections kind of show that in their finish in the East there. Some of that is Kentucky has a new offensive coordinator. Liam Cohen is taking over there, and he's not called a play in the FBS since 2008, at least according to my database. And so the model doesn't really know how to input him quite yet. It'll get a better feel for him 2 or 3 games in, and an even better feel for him in the next year or two that he's calling plays. But right now, it's uncertain how his offensive play calling is going to affect that side of the ball. They're always strong on the defensive side of the ball with Mark Stoops as a defensive-minded head coach, and Brad White, I have him as a B-grade defensive coordinator, so he's good. So the model isn't. It just kind of depends on what side of the fence that offensive side of the ball falls on. I mean, they have 6 toss-up games. The record ceiling is 10-2, so they could very well jump up and jump Florida this year if things fall right on the offensive side of the ball. But on the back half of that, if it all falls flat, they could also go 4-8. They're one of the more volatile teams in the SEC.
Yeah, and I'm glad you referenced that because I was going to mention, according to your model, 6 toss-up games, like you said, for Kentucky, and that is the most in the SEC. So, as I'm sitting here looking at it with a new coordinator, new quarterback, how difficult is that going to be to go 6-0 in a toss-up game scenario? You have to figure that Kentucky is going to drop at least 1 or 2 of those games, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely, and that's why the model I think has them at 7-5. It's got them going 3-3 in those toss-up games actually. So it's got them splitting them right down the middle. They did get a couple of key transfers on the offensive side of the ball, and Wandale Robinson from Nebraska. He's going to be a big lift, I think, for that offense, depending on how Liam Cohen decides to use him. There's just a lot of question marks on that side of the ball. If those things get ironed out fairly quickly, then Kentucky could have the type of year that fan base is longing for.